All right, let's shift focus to what's happening in the US. In his second appearance at former President Trump's civil fraud trial, Trump's eldest son, Donald Trump Jr., lauded the sexiness of his father's property portfolio. And we'll tell you why we're using that terminology here. The statement comes in stark contrast to Justice Arthur Engoron's ruling in September, stating that Trump and his company fraudulently inflated the value of his real estate assets. Now, hailing the former president as a visionary at the New York court on Monday, Trump Jr. claimed that the sexiness of his father's real estate projects were key to attract licensing deals with developers who wanted to emulate the tycoon's style. Now, this statement, viewers, was objected to by lawyers from Attorney General Letitia James' office. However, Justice Arthur Engoron, who was accused of bias by Trump and his legal team, permitted the testimony. They said, let him go ahead and talk about how great the Trump organization is. Now, justifying its high valuation, defense lawyer Clifford Robert walked the court through an extensive slideshow of Trump's real estate portfolio. In opposition, state lawyer Colleen Faherty put forth evidence proving Trump's 40 Wall Street property to be at risk of defaulting on its mortgage.
But it doesn't matter because it's a witch hunt. It always has been. But the precedent that it sets for New York business, if you don't perhaps donate to Letitia James' re-election campaign, I too will go after your billion-dollar transactions. It's ripe for extortion and corruption.
Donald Trump, who is the current frontrunner for the 2024 Republican presidential nomination, has been accused of inflating the net worth of his empire by as much as $2.2 billion. The lawsuit by New York Attorney General Letitia James is seeking between $250 and $300 million in damages, along with a blanket ban on the Trumps from dealing in New York's real estate sector. Apart from Trump Jr.'s two court appearances, his younger brother Eric testified on the 3rd of November, while his sister Ivanka Trump also appeared in court on the 8th, but not as a defendant. Now, all three have denied involvement in preparing their father's financial statements, placing the onus of bookkeeping on Trump Organization's accountants. Donald Trump himself testified earlier on the 8th of November, where he acknowledged inaccuracies in his financial statement but dismissed them as irrelevant to the banks from whom he sought loans. Now, earlier in December, Justice Arthur Engoron ruled that Trump and his company fraudulently inflated the value of his real estate assets. Engoron has ordered the dissolution of companies that control Trump's portfolio, including the Trump Tower in Manhattan. As of now, the ruling holds pending an appeal. Trump is also a defendant in 4 criminal cases, including 2 over an attempt to overturn his 2020 electoral loss, and the former president has pleaded not guilty in all 4 cases. All right, for more on this, WION's correspondent Susan Teherani further explains what extent of these trials are mere political theatre in the lead-up to the presidential elections. That's Susan Teherani from New York. Listen in.
This is one of several cases that the former president is dealing with as he continues to be the clear frontrunner in the Republican primary. We did learn from a number of reporters who were in that courtroom that lawyers for Attorney General Letitia James grew quote-unquote frustrated because Don Jr. had the opportunity to not only praise his father and their company, but what some called quote-unquote an infomercial. Nonetheless, the court has to allow the defense to present their witnesses. And Don Jr. also was cross-examined briefly by the state as well.